Hey everyone, it's Pearlescent Toys back in today's video with another WWE Ultimate Edition action figure review, and today we are looking at the Ultimate Warrior. I'm really sorry, that was really uncalled for and unprofessional. Here's the side art and the back of the box. The Ultimate Warrior needs not the normals to protect him from what he finds most comforting: the charge of pain and the smell of combat. He breathes the air of the brave and feasts on the fruit of victory. The power of the warrior will always prevail. Oh, that did a number on my throat. And without further ado, let's get into this. I know I'm a little late to this review. This figure's been out for months already, but you know, I didn't want to pay full price for an Ultimate Warrior figure. I mean, come on. The spirit of the Ultimate Warrior will run forever. And here is the Ultimate Warrior out of the packaging, man. And I just gotta say, I love this attire. It's so bright and colorful, and people who have been watching this channel for a while know that I love it when action figures have that, when they're very vibrant, because it makes them stand out in the display a little bit more. I mean, not that the Ultimate Warrior really had any trouble standing out to begin with. I mean, like, look at this dude. This figure is freaking jacked, and yeah, that torso is... he has a gargantuan frame here. Is that the Puerto Rican flag? No, this figure, yeah, I love the colors on it. That's my first impression of it immediately. Now, of course, what this attire is based on is his look from SummerSlam 91, which was a very controversial topic in his career. Just going off the top of my head, and I'll probably fact check myself if I'm wrong here, but I believe in the summer of 91, just a month or two before SummerSlam, Ultimate Warrior, he demanded Vince McMahon to pay him I almost said million. No, it was $500,000 actually, just over $500,000. It was $550,000, which is insane, and he demanded it all in cash. Fool is not trying to pay the IRS. But yeah, he demanded that amount. He also demanded vacation time and a cut of merchandise sales, something like that. And it's all stemmed from him not being happy with his place in the company. As you can recall, the year before, he had beat Hulk Hogan in the main event, had become the WWF champion. He was at the top. But many people at the top, behind the scenes, didn't really see him as that guy to carry the torch into the new decade, to be the next Hulk Hogan, or sorry, the face of WWF. And so they had him drop the title to Sergeant Slaughter, and that year at WrestleMania they had him face the Macho Man Randy Savage, arguably his greatest match of all time. And I highly doubt that is mostly contributed by Ultimate Warrior himself. I think Macho Man really carried that match and made it something special. Yeah, they even released a figure from that WrestleMania. He thought that his match with Macho Man Randy Savage was just as important as the main event that night, the match between Sergeant Slaughter and Hulk Hogan for the WWF Championship. Of course, those two being in the main event, they made a lot more money than Warrior and Macho Man. And that just didn't sit right with the Warrior. And so, after months and months of these emotions just brewing in him, him having to push them down, he exploded and he made his demands. He made his thoughts loud and clear. $500,000, vacation time, and a larger cut of the money, or else he no-shows SummerSlam, the main event of SummerSlam, tagging with Hulk Hogan against the Triangle of Terror. There's a story that goes that Warrior made his demands on the spot, at the show, and Vince McMahon promised him, oh yeah, I'll pay you. And when Warrior came back, those demands were never met. Instead, he got fired on the spot and sent off. And then there's another story, like he actually like wrote Vince McMahon a letter like 6 weeks in advance. Yeah, it's a little murky. I can't really remember all the details off the top of my head. I would definitely go look up the story if you can, because it is absolutely insane. I tried to tell it to the best of my ability, but I mean, I'm not perfect. I don't know how much time I just wasted talking about that. But yeah, let's go over the actual figure here. And yeah, this is from his final match. Well, air quote, final match before his eventual return. And dude, I am just in love with these colors. I absolutely love that they used white as a part of the gear, because it just makes it makes the other colors stand out even more. And of course, that musculature, just wow, absolutely like breathtaking. Look, I'm not into dudes, but like I can admire when someone has a great physique, and Ultimate Warrior definitely had that. That's so weird. That little clip is gonna haunt me for the rest of my life. But yeah, going over the face sculpt right here, and dude, it looks amazing. Yeah, these little tassels right here. The whole figure is just chock loaded with so much detail. I'm surprised, frankly, that these just didn't go flying off the shelf immediately. I think we're just like have Warrior fatigue at this point. There's been so many figures of him. But nonetheless, like, this is such a fantastic action figure. And I wish I could go into a bit more detail, but I feel like I've wasted enough time with that story. So let's go over accessories. First, he comes with this sort of neutral expression with his teeth showing. Very nice. And I love the detail paint on the hair right there. The dry brushing looks wonderful. And then he comes with this yelling expression. I also love this face, but I think I'm going to keep the other one on there when I put him on the display. He has 2 open C-grip hands, 2 fisted hands, and his entrance attire. Dude, I love the look of... Hey, get out of the way. I love how much detail is in this. These look like those old action figures, sort of. And maybe that's like... the purpose of that, but man, just so much detail in this. And yeah, I just love the printing. Warrior Wildness and Hulkamania. Dude, what a tag team this could have been if Warrior had stuck around longer. This would have been so much fun. But yeah, again, just going all the way around. And I love the little Hulkster on the back right there, and Warrior himself right there. It's all just so neat. But going over articulation, the head is able to move down just a tiny bit and not really go up at all. And he has a tiny bit of pivot and some side-to-side movement. His arm moves this far up, and it goes this far back and this far forward. He also has upper shoulder rotation and upper bicep swivel. And these tassels are also articulated, being able to twist all the way around. He has a double jointed pinless elbow, and he has a wrist hinge, your standard wrist hinge going up, down, all the way around. He has a diaphragm joint that allows him to move this far back and just the tiniest bit forward. And he also has some pivot right there and side to side movement, and also a waist swivel that also allows him to move side to side. He has a drop down hinge at the thigh, and that leg is able to kick out this far, go out to the side this much, and go back a tiny bit. He has an upper thigh swivel, a double jointed knee. Oh, and these tassels on the legs are also articulated, being able to twist all the way around. He has mid-calf rotation, and his foot... Ooh, that hurt. Let's try the other foot. Ooh, nothing. It doesn't move down like at all, and doesn't move up at all. He does have the pivot though, and... For size comparisons, here is Warrior next to Bret the Hitman Hart and Hulk Hogan, AJ Styles and Stone Cold Steve Austin, Randy Orton and the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. 2 wrestlers that are no stranger to flashy entrance gear. We have the Nature Boy Ric Flair, woo, and Charlotte Flair, woo. Those are like the lamest woos of all time. I'm sorry. Seth freaking Rollins and Asuka. Morbius and Gary the Stormtrooper. And finally, the Marvel Legends Spider-Hams. Alright, time for my final rating and my overall thoughts. Final rating, I'm going to give him a 10 out of 10. I'm going to give him a 10 out of 10. And my reasoning is not because like he has the most accessories or the greatest paint ups of all time, greatest articulation of all time, but simply because I had fun posing this guy around. I've had fun playing with him, and the history that's attached to this specific attire, it's so meaningful, and it's great to have it in the Ultimate line. You know, I go back to like, you know, paint ups aren't the best, articulation, but in all honesty, the paint apps are some of the best I've ever seen on an Ultimate action figure, and the articulation as well is pretty stellar compared to a lot of recent releases. And man, that jacket, you know, that entrance gear looks phenomenal. You know, if I had that Amazon exclusive Hulk Hogan off to the side still, like I would definitely pose him around with him. I'll have to dig him out of storage. But yeah, just a wonderful, wonderful piece. 10 out of 10. I know it's very shocking. I rarely give out like scores this high, but I feel like Warrior here definitely deserves it. But yeah, that'll do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend. Anything you can do that'll support the channel will be greatly, greatly appreciated. And with that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.